Hello and welcome to part 2 of Descent of Shadow. Boy, I was not sure about this painting today. When I looked at it, I go, golly, I really got a lot of work to do. So yes, sometimes I get in front of a canvas and I go, how can I get this thing right? So what I did was to go back to my two basic things to get started. I have to concentrate on shapes and values. This is the balance phase, trying to get the value colors working with the surrounding colors, but I also had shape problems too. So I combined two steps into one and worked on this. At the very end of the painting, I added the light on top of the hill. Now, I don't know if that's going to work or not, but when I have these references that are kind of monochromatic, I say, what can I do to add some zing to this thing? So I'm trying this and see if that works. The homework tonight is to try to figure out how far you want to bring your light down on the mountain and work on some sort of an orange, yellow, pink mixture for that. So, whew, a lot happened in 30 minutes. And I hope you are challenged at this thing as much as I have. And so far I'm breathing a lot easier now than when I started this painting 30 minutes ago. Okay, so get outside and paint. Get critiques, paint with your friends, and don't be intimidated by a big white canvas sitting on your easel. All right, so enough of me talking. Let's get to painting. All right. Hey, here we are, part 2 of Descent of Shadow. Another Colorado landscape here. And tell you the truth, I came and took a good look at this morning and I said, boy, I got a lot of work to do. This next phase, this balance phase, is going to be really important because I kind of faded out my darks too much, and I need to get that back. And I think I made my darks too small. I got to fill them in a little bit more. And I hope to pull this off. So I told my wife Jenny this morning, I go, this is not going to be an easy one. But let's take this a very serious step and get rolling here. Get my trusty glasses on here and get myself started. So where to start? Well, the things that are popping out to me the most is where I want to start. And as I said, I think I got the values wrong in my darks. So that's where I'm going to start, and after that, I'm going to get my shapes right. And since I have shape problems and value problems, I think I'm going to try to solve two of those with one process. Okay, so with that, let me start with mixture. This is too light, so let's choose some value. So here's some blue, here's some transparent oxide red, here's some yellow ochre, and here's some Naples. More blue. And it makes a wonderful green. A little bit more Naples. A little bit more Naples. All right, so I can get things going here pretty quick. I'm going to use a number 6 Da Vinci. Let's see how this value works. I think it works pretty good here. I'm going to go more blue because I'm in the background. And let me add some white to that. I think I'm in a little bit better situation now. Let me try to get this shape a little better. And I'm working now on shape and value all at the same time. And this comes all the way over. It's very prominent, and I'm going to make it more prominent because it's a very important abstract shape in the painting. And I have all these little trees all over the place, and I'm going to use a smaller Da Vinci for that. I'm going to use some of this same stuff up in here. Oh, I'm trying to stay away from, so you don't see my shoulder all the time. So I'm painting kind of in a way that's a little awkward. And I'm trying to just get some idea of where this beautiful shape is going to be. And you say, well, what about that road? I think there's a road in there. And I think that might be an important thing to get in here, but maybe a little bit later. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. And let me get back and see about that shape. Okay, let's make this a little bit darker as we go forward in this area. More blue. This time I'm going to add some olive. More blue. A little bit of transparent oxide red. Yellow ochre. All right, let's try that. Slopping up both sides of my brush because I have a lot to get done here. Ooh, that's working. And this comes way over here. That's my connecting dark. Kind of has a broken edge here on the bottom. It goes up, it goes down. And there's some little trees here and there. And I think I need to bring the hill down a little bit and bring these trees down to a lower section. And I'll probably need a different brush for this. More blue, olive, transparent oxide red, yellow ochre. I need to make this, I think, larger over here. And I have some other tree shapes in here. And let's go even darker now. Blue, transparent oxide red, viridian, yellow ochre, more blue, and it's a rich dark green. And I need to bring them down. So you can see I made all my shapes, my dark shapes, larger. And a little bit more interesting. I'll bring these down. Okay, I'm going to get back and take a look here at what we got. We got good stuff. Okay, let's get a smaller Da Vinci and work on some of these smaller shapes now with the right value. All right, so we're about 10 minutes into this, and now it's time to get a little bit more sophisticated and make some more products. So let's go blue, transparent oxide red, yellow ochre, nipples, olive. I'm making a lot of this because then I can tone it down and go from dark to light. All right. Cleaning up my mixing palette knife there. Okay, so now I want to make sure that this is in the right place. I'm really still working with these big value shapes and trying to get them right. I may have made too much water, and I'll pick some of that up. I don't want to make that like too much of a, a thing to look at. I don't want it to steal the show. I kind of want this kind of lead in from dark to light to be the neat stuff. And once again, I'll get over here. Okay, now I have a weak spot right here with value. And I'm going to work to correct that. So I wish I could tell you everything going on in my head. So I'm going to try to do that. It's like race to try to get this thing balanced in this 30-minute time period. But I'm always kind of looking at the surrounding area and saying, how, is my shape too large, too small? And that's what's going through my head in this process. I'm going to go to a smaller Da Vinci. It looks like a number 2. And let's see what we can do about some. Oh, I got to soften this. I'm going to add some more blue to this mixture. And see if this does the trick. Oh, that's really pretty much in the neighborhood here. I'm just doing some vertical design stuff here. And now what I want to do is change the direction of my brush and start doing for more individual stuff like right in here. And let me get this guy taking a little bit more. And over here there's all these nice little designs of trees coming off from this area in here. So they're lighter, they're not too individualistic yet, but I am bringing them down to the lower area. And yet again, I am doing more design work. Well, what about that road? So let's go in with some Naples. Gray. This is a light gray by Richardson because I am out of my cold gray. Well, I got a little bit. Let me try to get some of that in there. Cold gray. And let's see what I can do about getting the right value for the road. I think there's a road that kind of goes up in here. to make it lighter. I'm just using the contamination within the brush to make the lighter mixture. I went straight to white. And I want to try to make this into some sort of a abstract shape that's going to hold some interest in this painting. All right, we'll see if that works. I got to get lighter on that, don't I? Let's see if that works. Well, at least I know where it's going to be. It's not light enough yet, but it might be fun to keep on that. All right, I think I need to go bluer on this mixture here. I have that nice dark olive green, but I'm going to pick that up and let me just bring this over and add more blue to it and see if that does the trick. Oh, I like that. I'm just smacking it on here and see if I can get that value right. Okay, we are balanced, balanced, balanced. That's what our big deal is here. So let me go back to blue, yellow ochre, blue, gray. And I'm filling in it and even changing the value of this. And what it does to add that blue, it just gives it more depth as things are going back. If there's one thing I hear about my paintings is you can really tell that what part's coming forward and what's going back. And I do it because, you know, you just add these blues and make things lighter and gives them a sense of fading. I'll even add some blue to the top of these guys right in here. All right. I think I need some darker stuff. I'm still working on some shapes now. Blue, yellow, blue, yellow ochre, olive, transparent oxide red. I think I need something right here. And I need a little bit of a dark to kind of show that edge change right there. Like one has more shrubbery, this darker area here. All right, now I want to see if my shapes are right. This still feels a little large, but let's do this and give a little bit more indication that there is something going on here. An edge. Sometimes a little tree will help. Okay. Let's get to the green and blue areas. All right, so I'm cleaning my Da Vinci out, and I'm going to pick up the colors here from my mixing area and go into the mountain, and then we'll get to the grass. So you're getting the picture is that you want to spend your time at this stage to get these values right. And I'm thinking they're looking a lot better now than they did before. All right, so now I've got this green stuff here left over, and I'm going to make more of it. I'm adding white, and I want to get some of the lighter stuff, and I'm going to add some olive to one side, and some Naples, and I'm going to add some Naples into this green stuff. See how thoroughly I mix these things? So many of my students are going, get the whole bottom of the knife going and get a good thorough mixture that there's not darks and lights in there. Okay, let's get something with a little bit better edge here. And I'm going to use a rosemary number 6279. I dipped it in some Gamsol to loosen it up. And I know there's some lights over in here. And I'm just trying to get these big neighborhoods straightened out of value color. And I'll bring these lights down because, well, there's something in the reference that kind of holds that key that tells me about it. Now there's more light on the top of this right here, and I'm going to add that. And it is useful in kind of telling you this is the tip of the hill and it's receiving more light. And then it goes into a darker green. So let's add more olive to this now and get that in. Need a little bit more green, so I'm adding some Viridian, yellow ochre, Viridian, yellow ochre. The Viridian's a little strong. I'm going to add a touch of transparent oxide red to knock it down. Kind of graze it down a little bit of gray too. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody is calling me. Let me say, call you back later. Okay, here we go. And let's increase the light over here on this side. I was inspired to do that by the reference. Just get some more Naples in this thing, and I'll do some more of that right in here. I mean, you can see this is pretty rough, impressionistic, but it's still holding together so far, and now it's time to go to a smaller brush, I think. Well, maybe I could lighten this up a little bit. I've got some canvas coming through. I didn't do my homework last night and get all these canvas holes covered up. I'll do that later today. That'll be my homework. Let's get up in here a little bit and see what we can do with some mixture. Pick this up, add some white to it. And see what we can do. All right, here we go. That seems to be working. Okay, good. Okay, let's experiment with something. So, let's see if we can get some light on top of this mountain and see what it does. So that's going to involve getting some warm mixtures. Just to get a sense, if we add that light, what it's going to do. So let's go with some orange, white, orange, white. Let's get some Naples in there to knock it over a little bit. And some gray. And back to orange. And that is a thorough mixture. Let's see what that does. Okay, for a moment of drum roll, please, see what it does. Let me get this out of the way a little bit. And let's go with light. Light. And more light. And get back and take a look. I'm going to go with it and see what that does. Now, I know I have to get the edges taken care of. They're too strong. But sometimes you just need to get it in there to get a sense of what it's going to look like here. So now I'm going to go back with a brush and work these edges to the appropriate amount. Now the question that I'll be dealing with and you'll be dealing with for homework is how far you're going to bring this light down, okay? You can say, well, the sun's going to come down so far and figure that out. I don't know where that's going to be yet. And I'm also going to be working on, is this too dull or is it too light? And that is another thing we're going to be working on. Whew. I wanted to get this far today to kind of give myself a sense of, how that's going to look. And I'm really glad we got this far. I got a few minutes left, and I'm going to try some of this color a little bit watered down. I've got some clean Gamsol to the right here, and I'm just really thinning it out with some Gamsol, and I'm going to see what I can do with some of this, some white in the clouds, white, Gamsol stuff in the clouds here. Just trying to unify this stuff up here. And I'm going to thin it even more and run some over the lower sections in here, in the blue sky stuff. Very thin. Oh, that was a good addition. Oh man, there's hope for this painting. Scared the heck out of me because it was such a dull, uninteresting reference. And I think the challenge is how can I really get this thing zinged up here a little bit so that's going to hold some interest to the viewer. So next what I'm going to do is get some Hansa in here, some Naples, and some white, and some white, more white. Used up all my white, and I'm going to try some of that in layers over, thin it down right here, and introduce some yellow. Oh my God, yes. And I'm just doing these thin washes over the top. And see where that goes. And if you really are courageous between now and step 2, try some pink in there too. So again, what you need to figure out between part 2 and part 3 is how far to bring down this bright sky, or introduce it and don't introduce it. You know, it's up to you. But I'm just really challenged by, when you have this kind of monochromatic reference, what can you do to add some light to it? So my last 2 or 3 paintings, as you can see, I've been going through this theme of brightening up backgrounds and seeing what it does. I'm afraid I'm running out of time and need to bring part 2, balance, to an end. Thank you so much for this exciting part of this painting. All right. See you tomorrow in part 3.